So they went through different speeds. Like it's very amazing to understand how they kind of understood. So there are other actually worldwide known APTs, and the huge ones actually, Stuxnet, which was huge, and there are others which are out there. One is Doku. Doku came out, and it was discovered by Budapest based university, and it was part of the Budapest university crisis in 2011. And keep in mind, Stuxnet was discovered in 2010. So 1 year later, Doku was discovered. That had nearly identical codes like Stuxnet, but in this case was not used to destroy a centrifuge, but it was more of information stealing, exfiltration, espionage, which is stealthy, advanced, and targeted the same purpose. Doku is basically a strain, a blend of Stuxnet, right? Then another one was Flame, discovered by Kaspersky Labs, and that was next year in 2012, and was supposed to be created even before Stuxnet. And the reason is because there was a Flame blogger or a blog which was used by Stuxnet to spread the infection by USB drive. So there is these information correlations, which I'm trying to make you understand that how Doku, how Flame, how Stuxnet, we only know the age from when it was discovered, but they have been there. Strains of that those APTs have been there for long, And in this case, this blog was time-stamped by information, and also Stuxnet, like Flame was there. So it is suggested that that some hacking groups probably had, and they shared the code, and they shared the vulnerabilities from the Flame. Some of the Flame like exploits which were used in Stuxnet, and also they were used by Flame. So going hard on evidence, guys from Doku, Flame, Stuxnet, so all of them start making sense now to you, right? So something that I probably forget, that is Stuxnet. It not only infected the Natanz facility, it also infected 1,000 other companies worldwide. But Iran plant was the most well-known one, so that's why. So Stuxnet was not just one, so they kind of spread it on a lot of facilities. Now these groups, which were discovered, Equation Group was discovered by Kaspersky Labs again in 2015, 5 years after Stuxnet, presumably tied to the USA, to US NSA, right? So the Equation Group. But, all these are well-known, designated. NSA, that is the US like a national security agency, basically alters, how this works is they alters encryption protocols to control and to know the civilians, as well as know NSA issues, what is going on, and kind of this kind of surprised a lot of people. So it is actually used, the Equation Group actually is used for spying about around 500 infections, and around 42 countries since 2001 were detected, and researchers, they found that it could go backdate to 1996. So the Equation Group, again, the strategy was using 0 days, and later again used by Stuxnet. So this was done earlier, which means the Equation, at least on those specific models, was actually a pretty advanced one before Stuxnet took into play. So Equation Group might be the father of Stuxnet, I'm assuming. If you think about it is owned by NSA, and then Stuxnet again is US government insurance. So maybe like they're the same blend, right? There is a relationship. I think so. You see the picture here, right? So one of the models actually which was used in the Equation Group is called Fanny, which contains LNK exploit, which are again found in Stuxnet. By the way, we're going to be playing with the Equation Group, and guys, you're going to have some chance to play around with that also. I'll kind of walk you through and show you some lab also later on, okay? So another thing is that it is able to reopen hard disk firmware, another I would say a sophisticated piece of the code. And what it does is it goes to the hard disk firmware, and when it is on the hard disk firmware or the operating system, it can basically go in and format the disk, reformat the disk, reinstall the operating system, and whatever you want to do, it basically goes and reprograms the hard disk firmware, so you can keep on wiping the disk, reinstalling operating system, whatever you want to do, it will survive. So that is how severe it is, right? So I think the only way is physically destroying that hard disk to get rid of it. So well, in this case, I mean, these are some interesting, I would say ways and some interesting APTs which I got you familiar with. I hope you enjoyed this class as much as I did, and you remember these, and we'll talk about them in the later classes too. All right, thanks for joining.